The following video clip is less than 4 minutes long, and it features Dan Proft from 560 AM. It's a morning show, Morning Answer, interviewing Ted Dabrowski, who is the president of WirePoints, a wonderful organization. Lots of good information. But in this clip, they are discussing the problem of fatherlessness and broken homes within Illinois, which, of course, is the source, a major source of dysfunction and economic problems, crime in our culture. And ironically, we just had Dr. Brad Wilcox come out and speak for us at our Worldview conference, and that video can be found, those videos, I should say, could be found on our YouTube and Rumble channels. In it, he emphasized that, the fact that our kids are not being raised by two married parents. It's a trend in our culture. And in fact, the Institute for Family Studies had a slide up there, Dr. Brad Wilcox and his Institute for Family Studies, saying that 70% of college-educated liberals don't believe marriage is important for kids. That this is astounding. It shows a real disconnect between secular education and biblical truth and what God has designed for our families. Dr. Wilcox also pointed out how education and family structure really plays into a success as far as even college graduates. A slide he put up during his presentation claims that children from intact families are 125% more likely to graduate from college. But on the flip side, he put another slide up there about the percentage of children ending up in prison from broken families. And so you can see how family structure, marriage, as God has designed children to be raised in, has a huge impact on our culture and trajectory of our children. And in Illinois, as you will hear Ted and Dan discuss, the percentage of children in households with married parents has steadily declined in Illinois, the state of Illinois, from 83% down to 63%. And this is very alarming. If we want the best for our children, we should be in a married household, because children need both a mom and a dad. To that point, please listen to Ted Dabrowski as he points these things out.
Yeah, I think you were leading a lot of this discussion back in the day about the lack of family, and we did some FOIAs to the IDPH, Department of Health, and it was amazing to see the number of unwed births in Illinois. And it was shocking to me, and shocking across all the entire culture and races. Rockford, 85% of blacks born to unwed mothers. 50% of whites born to unwed mothers. Decatur, 90% for blacks. 55% of white births to unwed mothers. It's you have to think that how can you preserve values? How can you do schooling? How can you manage your children, your family, all of that when you have nearly 50% or more of unwed births? It's just impossible.
Well, it is interesting.
We can't talk about it, Dan. That's the whole point. It's racist to talk about.
Yeah, well, but it's racist even though we're talking about white, black, Asian, and Hispanic, where you've got them broken down. I mean, it's across race. It's a problem. And the other thing that's interesting about this data, and I'll tweet it out, is if you look at the communities with the correlation, the communities that have the highest incidence of unwed births, they're communities that once you hear the names, you'll say, well, they've got a law and order problem. They've got a K through 12 performance problem. I mean, the whole state does, but the problems there are more acute. For example, let me tell you, more than 60% of births total, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, 60% of births unwed, Rockford, Peoria, Decatur, over 50% over 60% and Waukegan, over 50% Springfield, right near 50 at 49% Joliet, 46% Chicago, 44% Champaign. And I missed it. And Cicero's at 59%. I missed Cicero. That's over. Yeah. So I mean, these are mid-size communities that, of course, we know have problems that are a microcosm of the problems that we see in Chicago.
Yeah, and Dan, I would say that because Chicago at least has a bustling economy and strong areas. You go to a place like Decatur, and it's more widespread.
It's bombed out.
These cities are shrinking. It's sad. Waukegan still has some livelihood because it's got a huge influx of the Latinos and the entrepreneurship. But all these places they're tough, and it takes a dramatic flip of how we do things. And it's that dramatic flip about talking about life and culture, and and merit and excellence. And I think. Well, until we do that, they will continue their declines like they're doing now. And Pritzker perpetuates it. You've seen him speaking at national events, talking about his support for DEI and for trans in the schools. If he spoke with just 10% of that passion about literacy and about family, we might be better off. But he will never do that. He's staying on his horse, and he's not getting off.